meteorologist Jack Van Meter. Let's go ahead and talk about our forecast for tomorrow. We have issued a first alert weather day specifically for the afternoon and overnight hours tomorrow. Friday, 8 o'clock, we could be seeing some thunderstorm development, and that's actually going to be lasting through 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Again, we're going to be watching for widespread thunderstorms, and some of them have the potential to be severe, but we have to keep our eye on a few different factors going into the evening and overnight forecast, i.e. when are those storms going to be firing off. If it's closer to sunset time, that means they're actually going to have more energy to work with, and if it's after sunset time, that means they only have a finite amount of energy to use, meaning that most of the storms will actually be fairly loud but not really strong. But let's go ahead and talk about some of those ingredients. The first one is going to be moisture, and you're going to feel it outside specifically in the afternoon. Air temperatures are going to be rising into the 70s, and actually a few people might be hitting that 80-degree mark for a high temperature. That being said, for dew points, our dew points are going to climb into the lower 60s, so it's going to feel fairly humid. Thankfully, the humidity will be dropping off after that system moves through with the cold front and really moves out a lot of that warm and humid air. Now, we're also going to be talking about windy conditions throughout the entirety of the day. This is midnight tonight. Notice the wind direction still coming from the south to maybe even southeast. But as I play this forward, we are going to really increase the intensity of our southerly winds, seeing a couple gusts of 35 to even 40 miles an hour. And again, this is just in the morning time, and we're going to be maintaining those stronger winds throughout the entirety of the afternoon and actually into the overnight hours. This is stopped at 6 o'clock. Everybody go out to the west here. As we can see out here in Illinois, just to the west of Chicago and Peoria, that's going to be that boundary that we're going to be watching that'll be pushing into Michiana. So let's go ahead and finally track out this system with FutureTrack. Of course, we're going to start this Friday morning because it's an entire day system. The morning is the afternoon will be dependent on what happens in the morning. 54 degrees for everybody, maybe some light showers in the area. So again, a very warm and somewhat mild start to the day. And we are going to be seeing sporadic pockets of clear air. And what that's really going to do is help to heat up and kind of prime up the atmosphere. Also, take a look at this. At 9 o'clock, everybody is going to be in the 60s. By noon, everybody will be in the 70s, and then getting close to that 80-degree mark as we start to make our way into the early evening. Cloud cover moving back in, but also watch these light showers that start to fire off. That's going to also eat away at a lot of the energy that these storms will be feeding on, and that line of storms will be making its way through maybe by 11 o'clock and by midnight. That's when we could be watching for the potential for maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm warning to be issued. Those storms are mainly out of Michiana by 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning. And as we move into our Saturday forecast, we are going to be seeing a colder return and actually a couple isolated chances of just some light showers. Again, severe risk is only going to be for that Friday forecast. Here's a look at that 10-day forecast for Easter Sunday. A high temperature of 60 degrees. Unfortunately, going to be keeping the rain in the forecast. Looks like thunderstorms are going to return for your Easter Monday, Caroline.